Quickly talk about disappointment because this came up in a session earlier. And I think there's an interesting pattern of um, I'm going to be able to avoid disappointment. And, one of the main things that I think is important to realize is that you can't. You will be disappointed at some point, but trying to avoid disappointment will create more disappointment and fear because you're worried that something disappointing is going to happen. When you think of that, it causes fear, it causes terror, it causes anxiety because you're thinking of things that are negative that probably won't happen. And I think a lot of people go, well, if I worry about it, it won't happen. No, worrying about it is not going to stop things from happening. Now, there's a amount of planning that you can do, but beyond that, um, I think it's important to realize that we scare ourselves with thoughts about things that won't ever happen. Thoughts about things that won't ever happen. And if we stop thinking about those thoughts, right, we won't scare ourselves. And if we won't scare ourselves, then we'll live much more meaningful lives because we're not afraid of things that we've made up in our heads. And it doesn't matter if it's possible that these things happen. Um, just because it's more likely to happen doesn't mean it will happen, right? So a meteorite hitting the Earth versus somebody spilling their coffee on me. Well, somebody spilling their coffee on me is more likely, but that doesn't mean it's likely to happen that often. It might happen a couple times in my lifetime, but there's no point worrying about it. Yep. Deal with things when they happen and realize, hey, there's going to be some disappointment, and that's okay because that is life. To try to avoid being disappointed in any way, shape, or form is not helpful. Now, one thing you can think about with disappointment is just that it was telling you that you really wanted something and maybe too much, or maybe it was a healthy desire. Yeah. And it's okay to go, oh, I felt disappointed. That means that I really wanted this and I'm going to find how I can get that. So I hope that was helpful. I think it's important to just go, hey, there's going to be some things where I feel disappointed. Feeling disappointed means I care. And not to make up things of feeling rejected, people rejecting you or you not getting what you want ahead of time, because that's really just going to lead to misery. Thinking about things and unpleasant things is really just about thinking about unpleasant things. It's not about you doing um, some really good planning. So I would keep that in mind, and once you stop and you realize, hey, I'm going to accept that there's going to be some disappointments in my life, and you fully accept that, then you'll stop doing this disappointment pattern more.